I had a journalism professor at the University of Georgia that when he wanted to make a point, he would come in his class and make the point and dismiss the class. He did that on 3 different occasions, and those are the only 3 things I remember from my college education that lasted at least the undergraduate part of my college education lasted for 7 years. So I will try to make a few points, a few brief points today, and none of which you'll catch on to as I'm going along. I may have to come back to them because I'll be telling stories as I go along. I'd like to pick up maybe our history at Juice Plus, when Juice Plus started in 1993 or just a little bit before that. Those of you that are as old as I am or not quite as old as I am remember the Juice Man and the fad that was going on in this country during that time to juice. Juice Plus is really a great idea that was born from a good idea. And my point, I guess, to you today as young entrepreneurs is that you don't have to have the one and only. You don't have to be totally unique. You need to be a little bit different. But the best way to is to let others try a bunch of things and fail, and then you pick up on that and move forward rather than think you've got to have a patent or you've got to have something that is totally unique. So we were running out of steam with our water filtration products, and we were looking for other products, and the Juice Man came along. And the idea of juicing was pretty simple. All opportunities are born of problems, and the problem was that people do not eat enough fruits and vegetables. It's real simple. And if you juice them, you might eat more. And his infomercial was the most successful infomercial in the history of television. No infomercial has ever done as much volume as the Juice Man's juicer. In fact, I was out in Seattle one Sunday morning. I had my remote, and I was flipping around, and there he was on TV. So I thought I would just look at him. And I flipped again, and there he was again, and I flipped again, and there he was again, and I flipped again. And he was on every single channel in Seattle, Washington. Now, if you believe that, you know, I wonder about you. He was not on every single channel. I had the remote upside down. But there was about a 3-minute stretch that I was daggone impressed, I can tell you that. So it was at that particular point, a little luck involved here, at that particular point, we were approached about a better idea than juicing. Of course, I went out like anybody else and bought a juicer. I juiced twice, my first and last time. I juiced those 2 times in the same afternoon. And I actually said to myself, I don't think I want to be healthy this bad. So we were approached by some people who had come up with an idea that you could dry fruits and vegetables at low temperatures, and not destroy any of the nutritional essence, put them in a capsule, take them with a glass of water, and that would be better than if you had juiced the very same things and drunk the juice. It would certainly be more convenient. I could certainly attest to that. It would be far less expensive. I could probably attest to that. And it would be more nutritious. Couldn't attest to that. So we did some tests and proved to ourselves that, yes, it was more nutritious because it was more concentrated. You could get more variety. And, of course, the big issue was people would do it rather than put their juicer on the shelf and not do it. So we decided to go with the product, and we kicked it off in a very low-key fashion in September in San Diego, 1993. And it was pretty much take the product, share it with a few friends, report back to us, and we'll try to build a marketing program around that. And they did, and the first consistent feedback we got was regularity. Okay, that's nice. We're happy for you. but don't see a international marketing program being developed around that. Then came indigestion. Same thing, less burping, less noisy burping. No, we got to wait for something. So we tried, we felt like we need some type of spokesperson. We need a celebrity. And it just so happened that our manufacturer in San Marcos, California, Bill Toomey was their VP of marketing, and those of you that remember, Bill Toomey was the decathlon champion in Mexico City in 1964. And Bill was going to leave them and become the alumni, the president of the Olympic Alumni Association, which his job primarily was to get ex-Olympians jobs. So he would send us one from time to time for our convention or our meetings. Nadia Comaneci came, and she was still great. I mean, she could turn herself wrong side out. But we could not see that getting people excited about Juice Plus. And Bob Beeman could jump across this room in any direction, but couldn't see that really materializing. So we just kind of waited, and then Bill calls me at home one morning, and he said, I got him. Perfect guy for Juice Plus. And I said, who's that? He said, O.J. Simpson. And I said, perfect. Could not be the great visionary that I am. He would be perfect, but can we afford him? Well, I think so. So we go to New York, and we talk to O.J. Could not have asked for a better guy, could not have asked for a person that was more willing to do things and all this kind of stuff. So we decided to have this grandiose kickoff in sometime in the summer in Orlando at a convention. He was to be the keynote speaker. This was about 6 months away, and it gave us time to ingrain him in every piece of literature that we had, every film we had, all our boxes, everything. We OJ'd ourselves completely. And it gave him time to commit the murder of the century. So, and his timing could not have been better. He actually did it 2 weeks before our convention. We had no way to stop. No way to stop the presses. I mean, we'd stop the trucks, but the presses had already been put to bed. We get there, and the room kind of thins out during the time he was to speak, and we thought maybe it was some type of protest or something, but really it wasn't. On the big screen out in the lobby in front of our convention room, he was being hauled off to jail wearing his Juice Plus shirt. So, I want to ask you a question. You will have problems as entrepreneurs. Things will come up. There will be bad days. But just file that one away. Is it as bad as the O.J. Simpson saga? So, what is your problem? Then we got lucky, I guess, because medical doctors started coming to us and started telling us that they were seeing things in their practice that they hadn't seen before. And the one variable they thought that might be involved was Juice Plus. The patient was taking Juice Plus. The first one was from Louisiana and macular degeneration, HIV, the head of infectious disease at Atlanta General Hospital, and at least a dozen or so had called us and asked us if we had research. Well, I wasn't dumb enough to say, what's that? I said that, well, we're looking in that direction, but we don't have anything at the moment, but would you like to come in and maybe sit down and develop a strategy? So we wound up developing a strategy for Juice Plus and clinical research, and today Juice Plus is not only the largest selling product of its kind in the world, it is by far the most thoroughly researched product of its kind in the world. And to give you an example of the quality of research that we have, we just completed a study, about an 8-year study, with MD Anderson in Houston, and they came to us wanting to do a study with Juice Plus because they had seen some of the research. And I was very, very negative about getting involved in that field at all, and I said, I just don't see where we want to get involved. There are just too many issues and too many things. And then they explained what they wanted to do. They explained that they had been part of developing what is called a WELL diet, W-E-H-L, and that is a diet of 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day for people in various phases of cancer treatment. And they had shown over the years and had a huge database that this WELL diet was very positive in terms of the various markers that they looked at to determine how well this patient was doing. But they had a big problem. They couldn't get people to adhere to the WELL diet, even though they knew it was better for them. So they, which is universal problem with oncologists. And so they said, what we would like to do is replace 5 of the servings with Juice Plus and see if we can get the same results. Because we know we can get more compliance by people taking 2 capsules than we could by people eating 5 fruits and vegetables. So I don't believe I have, it's a preliminary study, it's a relatively small study, but I have never seen researchers as excited about anything as they were about this. They said to them it was a door opener. They obviously want to do more research, but it was a door opener. It showed that, in fact, you could use whole food type supplementation, not vitamins. Juice Plus is not a vitamin; it's a whole food, and you could use whole food supplementation in addition to fruits and vegetables. And they might do the next test with just Juice Plus only, and see what can happen. Trying once again to get the results. So. We're very proud of that. We're very proud of what we've done in Juice Plus, and Pearson asked me to just very briefly. So I guess the point is that you're going to in being entrepreneurs, you're going to have some problems, OJ. You're going to you're not going to necessarily want to go the route of something total. Just something better is, for the most part, better than something completely new, because you're the guinea pig instead of somebody else being the guinea pig. And I think the last point I would make, well, I'll mention the Tower Garden real quick, and I'll tell one more story. I should have picked up on the fact that we think our opportunity and our products are so good because we say our lot's full. And the lot full comes from when I was selling pots and pans at the University of Georgia. I called on a guy up in Gainesville, Georgia, and I was filling out a credit application on him. And I asked him where he worked, and he said, Jesse Jewell, that's a local chicken processing plant in Gainesville, still there. And I said, what do you do? I'm, 23 years old. I said, what do you do? I was in my first senior year. He said, I'm 20, he said, I'm working at Jesse Jewell. I said, what do you do? He said, I'm a catcher. I said, and I'm sure Allie would have said, I didn't know they had a baseball team. And he said, no, I'm a chicken catcher. I'd never thought there was such a thing. He said, I'm a chicken catcher. I said, can you give me your approximation of earnings? He said, $4.75 a thousand. I folded the tent then because his credit wasn't going to pass, is the way I figured it. But I went on, and he said, that sounds like a lot. It did. And he said, but it ain't easy as it looks. He said, as long as the lot's full, he said, I've got a great job, best job down here. And but late of the evening, he said, when they get thin on me, I work for my money. Well, I've always used that for our business. The lot's full for us, because never before have people needed to take more control of their health than they do right now. Never before. Never before have people needed to take more control of their financial destiny than they do right now. That's why you're here. And never before, in our opinion, have people been needed to take more control of their food source than they do right now. And that's where our tower garden comes in. It's a 30-inch thing that you can, abundance will be a problem, I promise you. We had 300 tomatoes, and I've eaten so many salads this summer I can hop. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But one last story, because our way of farming is leaving us. We had this futurist speak at our convention from the university, from Columbia University, and he says that row farming, that our children will live to see no more row farming. That something has got to go up as opposed to go out, and something's got to use less water than it does now. Today it takes the state of Virginia to feed New York in land mass, to feed New York City. There'll be 9 billion people here by the time your children are our age. In this world, so we feel like we're really in the cutting edge. But I should have picked up that again at the University of Georgia. Had a contest, a single guy selling cookware. You can imagine. I mean, what type of contest that we had. Some clothes involved, some no clothes involved. So this particular contest was that the losers had to take a goat home, nurture the goat, and bring it back in good shape or face serious consequences. So my roommate and I brought this goat home, and we asked the guy that we picked the goat up from what his name was. We thought we were getting a pet. And he said the goat's name is D.A. And I said, why would you name a goat D.A.? Which is what y'all think. He said, it's for dumbass. He says, and if you keep him 2 weeks, you'll know why. So we tied D.A. to a tree in the front yard with a lot of slack so he could get over into the shrubs and the bushes and all where he could eat something. We just had roots around that tree. And D.A. would back up against that tree and run as hard as he could to the end of that rope and flip himself over back. Over and over and over and over again. And my roommate said, if we don't do something, he's going to be dead ass instead of dumb ass. So we decided to tie him to those of you who grew up in the country, spigot up next to the porch. Not much food there, so we had to ask what they eat. And we found a guy that says, well, you give them some cornmeal and sorghum's molasses. I mean, how many University of Georgia kitchens have cornmeal and sorghum's molasses? But we did have some corn flakes and some maple syrup. So we poured a little maple syrup on those cornflakes, and he, dumbass, drug the box up on the porch, scattered it everywhere. We had flies till Christmas, and ate the box. So what has that got to do with our tower garden? What has it got to do with our tower garden? Well, what it's got to do with it is that he was a futurist, see, because sometimes when I have nothing to do, I'll pull out my phone and I'll go to these awesome facts and go down through there. And I was going down through there not long ago, and it said, today's box of cornflakes, the box has more nutritional value than the flakes. So dumbass was smartass. He was a futurist. So that's my last point. My last point is try to look just a little farther ahead like dumbass did and build on somebody that's already headed in that direction, and do understand that you'll have some bumpy roads, OJ, on the way. So thank you.